Hi everyone. I'm Helen from Susan's family. Today I'm bringing you the bloom cloak from Botanical Sensations series. It's made up of the main body, edging and buttons. Start by crocheting the main body. Then crochet the edging along the front band area after it's done, leaving space for the buttonholes at the same time. Finally, attach the buttons at the corresponding positions. Let's start by crocheting the main body. I'll explain it in 4 sections. The part from the small flower motif position upwards is section 1. The small flower motif itself is section 2. The joining area between these 2 sections is section 3. The remaining part is section 4. From top to bottom, crochet each section in order. First, crochet section 1. Start with the foundation chain. Work back and forth in rows along the foundation chain. There will be color changes during the crocheting process. The crochet techniques used include chains, single crochets, double crochets and DC 2-in-1. Please watch my demonstration for the specific crochet method. To make it easier for everyone to see clearly, I'm using chunky yarn for this demonstration. The colors are random. For specific yarn details, color schemes, and hook sizes, please refer to the product detail page and pattern instructions. Let's start with the foundation chain. Wrap the yarn tail around your left pinky finger once. Thread it between your middle finger and index finger. Then pinch the yarn tail with your thumb and middle finger. Pick up the crochet hook with your right hand. Position it underneath the yarn. Wrap the yarn around counterclockwise once. Pinch the crossing point of the loop with your left thumb and middle finger. Place the hook on the left side of the yarn. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. This slip knot does not count as a stitch. Slightly tighten. Now let's start crocheting chains. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. 1 chain is completed. This braid represents 1 stitch. Continue crocheting chains. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. This is the 2nd stitch. Continue crocheting chains in the same way. Keep going until you've completed the required number of stitches. Refer to the chart for the exact number of stitches, mindful that the loop on your hook isn't counted when counting stitches. Now my sample is completed with the correct number of stitches. The sample has fewer foundation chains. This way, the casting on is done. Now start the first row. Make 1 chain. This is the turning chain for the single crochet. It doesn't count as 1 stitch. Then work 1 single crochet. Pick up the 2nd chain from the left with your hook. 1, 2. Here the chain looks like a V-shaped braid. There's a raised horizontal bar on the back. Here, pick up the half loop above the corresponding chain. And the raised horizontal bar. At this point, you're picking up 2 strands. Insert the hook. Draw the yarn through. Now there are 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over. Draw through once. 1 single crochet is completed. The V-shaped braid on the upper right is the stitch of a single crochet. 1 braid represents 1 stitch. Crochet down 5 chains as a bridge. Skip 3 chains underneath. Here, pull the chain flat. Then from the left side of the horizontal bar below the single crochet, count the horizontal bars under the braid. 1, 2, 3. Pick up 2 strands on the next chain. That is the top loop and the raised horizontal bar. From now on this row, always pick up these 2 strands to crochet. I won't explain in detail later. Crochet 1 single crochet here. Yarn over and draw through. Then yarn over and draw through the 2 loops on hook. Complete the single crochet. Crochet 5 chains as a bridge for the next part. Skip 3 chains underneath. Crochet 1 single crochet on the next chain. Five chains as a bridge. Skip 3 chains each time moving forward. Correspondingly make a single crochet, 5 chains between each 2 single crochets. Continue crocheting downward using this method. Complete this single crochet. Crochet 5 chains downward. Then skip 3 chains. Now reach the last chain position. Crochet 1 single crochet correspondingly. This completes the first row. Move on to the second row. Start with 1 chain. The beginning chain doesn't count as 1 stitch. Then turn the fabric counterclockwise. Pick the stitch from below on the single crochet. When crocheting on the wrong side of the previous row, the stitch is located at the upper left. Insert into the stitch. Work 1 single crochet. Crochet 3 chains as a space. Pick the large chain space of 5 chains adjacent. Work 1 single crochet. 3 chains as a space. Pick the chain spaces below and work single crochets correspondingly. 3 chains between each 2 single crochets as a space. Finish the last large space. Continue with 3 chains as a space. Then pick the stitch of the edge single crochet. Work 1 single crochet. With that, the second row is completed. Work the third row downward. Start with 3 chains. These 3 chains count as 1 double crochet, matching the single crochet below, then turn over. Pick the chain space to the left. Work 3 double crochets. Work the first stitch, yarn over. Insert the hook. Yarn over and draw through. There are now 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over and draw through the first 2 loops. Now only 2 loops remain. Yarn over again. Draw through all loops at once. 1 double crochet is completed. The braid on the upper right represents its stitch. One stitch loop stands for 1 stitch. Let me demonstrate once again. Yarn over. Insert into the same position. Yarn over and draw through. Then yarn over and draw through the first 2 loops in sequence. Repeat twice. Once. Twice. Complete the double crochet. Continue with 1 double crochet here. Now 3 double crochets are completed. Work 1 chain to space. Then continue to pick up the chain space next to it. Crochet 3 double crochets. Chain 1 to space. Move down and pick the chain space to crochet. Work 3 double crochets into each chain space. Skip 1 chain between every 3 double crochets. Complete the last 3 double crochets into the final chain space. Move down and pick the stitch of the single crochet to work 1 double crochet. Both the beginning and ending of this row have 4 stitches. This completes row 3. Now work on row 4. Start with 3 chains. This also counts as 1 double crochet. Turn. Pick the adjacent double crochet to the left. Note that it's not the stitch corresponding below the turning chain. Work 1 double crochet into the position next to it. One chain to space. Skip 1 double crochet underneath. Work 1 double crochet into the position below. The adjacent position is 1 chain. Pick up the space and work 1 double crochet. Into the next double crochet, work 1 double crochet. Next chain 1 to space. Skip 1 double crochet underneath. Continue picking up stitches and work 1 double crochet. Pick up the chain space and work 1 double crochet. Work 1 double crochet into the adjacent stitch. Then 1 chain to space. Move down and pick up the chain position, and 1 stitch on each side. Correspondingly make 3 double crochets. Separate every 3 double crochets by 1 chain. Also skip the double crochet position underneath the chain. Continue crocheting in this way. Finish these 3 double crochets. Next 1 chain. Skip 1 stitch underneath. Moving down, there's 1 remaining double crochet, and 1 beginning chain for double crochet. First, pick up the stitch and make 1 double crochet. At the beginning chain position, pick up 2 strands of the 3rd chain, and make 1 double crochet. Both ends of this row are 2 double crochets. With that, the 4th row is completed. Continue to the 5th row. This row starts and ends the same as the 3rd row. The way to insert the hook is the same as the 4th row. First, chain 3 as the turning chain. Turn. Then start from the next stitch on the side. Pick up the stitch and the chain space. Crochet 3 double crochets corresponding into each stitch. After that, 1 chain to space. Skip 1 stitch underneath correspondingly. Continue alternating between 3 double crochets and 1 chain. Still skip 1 stitch under the chain. Finish crocheting these 3 double crochets. There's still the beginning chain position left. Pick up both strands of the 3rd chain. Crochet 1 double crochet. Here, both the beginning and end have 4 stitches. This completes row 5. Now it's time to switch colors. Cut the yarn here. First, secure with 1 chain. Leave a little yarn tail. Cut the yarn. Pull tight. Leave the yarn tail for now. Now crochet row 6. Pick up the corresponding color. Join the yarn at the position where you fastened off in the previous row. First, make a slip knot with the yarn. Hold the fabric. Turn the fabric so the wrong side is facing you. At this point, the yarn tail from the fasten off is on your right side. Then hook into the stitch of the edge loop from the previous row. Pull the loop through. Adjust slightly. Make sure the knot doesn't show. Then make 1 chain to begin. This is the beginning chain for single crochet. From now on, the beginning chain for single crochet doesn't count as one stitch. I won't mention this repeatedly later on. Next, pick the same position. Work one single crochet into it. Set the yarn tail aside for now. Then skip 2 stitches to the left. Work 2 double crochets into the next stitch. One chain. Work 2 double crochets into the same position. One chain. Continue working 2 double crochets into the same position. I consider these stitches worked into the same position as group 1. Skip 2 stitches downward. Pay attention, the chain on the side counts as one stitch. 1, 2. Work one single crochet into the next stitch. Continue skipping 2 stitches downward. Work group 1 into the next stitch, which means 2 double crochets. One chain, 2 double crochets. One chain, 2 double crochets. Group 1 is completed. Continue skipping 2 stitches. The next part is a chain position. Pick up the braid of the chain and make one single crochet. Skip the next 3 stitches. It's still a chain position. Pick up the braid and work group 1. Then skip 2 stitches. Work one single crochet. Continue by skipping 3 stitches and working group 1. Then skipping 2 stitches and making one single crochet. Keep following this pattern to crochet downward until there are 6 stitches remaining at the end. Remember that the turning chain for double crochet counts as one stitch. It's included. You've reached the corresponding position. Skip the next 2 stitches. Work group 1. Continue by skipping 2 stitches after that. You're now at the beginning chain position. Pick up the top, which is the 2 strands of the 3rd chain. Work 1 single crochet. This completes row 6. Now move on to row 7. Start with 3 chains as the turning chain. From now on, when the starting position is 3 chains, it always refers to the turning chain for the double crochet. The turning chain for double crochet counts as 1 stitch. I won't repeat this again later. Turn the work. Work 1 double crochet in the corresponding turning chain. This includes the turning chain as well. It's like working 2 double crochets in the same position. This is a special technique for DC 2-in-1. Now work 2 chains as the space. Then pick up the 2 centered double crochets on the left side of group 1. Start with the rightmost stitch. Work 1 single crochet. Chain 3. Work 1 single crochet on the top of the adjacent double crochet. I consider the 2 single crochets and 3 chains as group 2. Now work 2 chains as the space. Next pick up the single crochet position. Work 1 double crochet. Chain 1. Work 1 more double crochet in the same position. I consider the left and right double crochets with 1 chain as group 3. Now work 2 chains as the space. Then on top of group 1, pick up the 2 centered stitch positions. Correspondingly work 1 group 2. Then work 2 chains as the space. Above the single crochet, correspondingly work 1 group 3. Continue with 2 chains as the space. Keep going with this method. Pay attention that all patterns are separated by 2 chains. Finish the last group 2. Then work 2 chains as the space. Pick up the edge single crochet position below. Work a DC 2-in-1, which means working 2 double crochets right here. Complete the DC 2-in-1. Match up the beginning and ending. Row 7 is now done. Now work on row 8. Make 1 chain to start. Turn. Hook into the centered gap of the DC2 in 1 below. Work 1 single crochet. Then pick the chain space of group 2 to the left. Correspondingly work 1 group 1. At the position of group 3 behind, pick the centered chain space. Work 1 single crochet. Then match up above group 2 and work group 1. Above group 3, pick the space and work single crochets correspondingly. Continue this way. Alternate between working group 1 and single crochets. Finish the remaining part. Complete the last group 1. Pick the gap between the last turning chain and the double crochet. Work 1 single crochet. This completes row 8. Now work row 9 downward. Start with 3 chains as the turning chain. Turn. Then pick the same position and work 1 double crochet. Complete the special DC2 in 1. Work 3 chains in between. Then pick above group 1. Work group 2 correspondingly. Three chains in between. Above the single crochet, work 1 double crochet correspondingly. 3 chains in between. Above group 1, work group 2 correspondingly. Above the single crochet, work 1 double crochet correspondingly. Between the double crochet and group 2, leave a space of 3 chains on both sides. Continue working downward using this method. Finish the last group 2. 3 chains in between. Work 1 DC2 in 1 at the single crochet position, which makes 2 double crochets. This completes row 9. Continue with row 10. Make 1 chain to start. Turn. Pick up the middle space of the increase. Work 1 single crochet correspondingly. Then work 3 chains in between. Skip the adjacent chain space behind. Pick up the next space, which is position of group 2. Work 1 single crochet correspondingly. 5 chains in between. Pick up each chain space behind and work single crochets correspondingly. 5 chains between each single crochet. Repeat this process all the way to the last space. Complete the second to last space position. 3 chains in between behind. Then skip the last chain space. Pick up the gap between the double crochet and the beginning chain to work single crochet. With this, row 10 is completed. Now move on to row 11. First, make 1 chain to start. Then turn. Pick up the chain space on the left and work 1 single crochet. 3 chains in between behind. Pick up each chain space below and work single crochets 1 by 1 correspondingly. 3 chains between each single crochet. Work 1 single crochet in the last chain space. Continue with 3 chains in between. Pick up the edge single crochet and work 1 single crochet. With this, row 11 is completed. Continue crocheting onward. The stitch techniques and methods used later have already been demonstrated and explained earlier. Just follow the chart and keep crocheting down. Please note that after completing row 16, you need to break the yarn. Row 17 starts by joining the yarn at the fasten off position. The method refers to the beginning and ending positions of rows 5-6. Also, above group 1 in row 17. Still work group 2 correspondingly, but the single crochet goes into the chain space. The beginning and ending positions of some rows will change. When you reach the DC 2 in 1 position, the edge single crochet goes into the gap between 2 stitches. Going forward, please follow the chart carefully. Don't adjust the positions. From row 17 onward, crochet with a single color. If you run out of yarn, you can break and join the yarn at the beginning and ending positions. Or you can tie a knot while crocheting to join the yarn. Next, I'll demonstrate the method with a sample. I'll use this sample to show you. Pick up the same color yarn. Find the wrong side of the fabric. Which is the side where the starting tail of the cast on is on the right? The other side is the right side. Tie a knot. This part is close to the fabric. This way the yarn joining is completed. The joining point and yarn tails should be placed on the wrong side of the fabric. Leave the yarn tails for now. Continue crocheting. This is the method of joining yarn by tying a knot. Once everything is crocheted, you can cut the yarn. That concludes the explanation for section 1. Next, we'll crochet section 2. It is made up of individual small flower motifs. The first small flower motif needs to be completed fully. For the remaining small flower motifs, work and join while crocheting the last round. Start with the chain ring method. Crochet outward in counterclockwise direction. In addition to the stitch techniques used previously, we'll also use treble crochet, DC2 bobble stitch and slip stitch. Watch me demonstrate. First, pick up the corresponding color. Hang the yarn properly on your left hand. Then start with 6 chains. Next, locate the first chain's braid. Pick up the half stitch on top and make 1 slip stitch. Note that the chains shouldn't be twisted here. The right sides should all face upward. Insert. Yarn over and hook out. Draw through all loops on the hook in one go. Complete the slip stitch. This completes the chain ring. Then work the first round. First, make 1 chain as the beginning chain. This is also the beginning chain for single crochet, it doesn't count as 1 stitch. Next, insert into the chain ring. Work 1 single crochet. Here, place the starting yarn tail above the hook. Weave in it as you crochet. Continue working 11 single crochets into the chain ring. Remember to work evenly. Join with a slip stitch in the first stitch when done. That's the second braid on the left side of the yarn tail. The first small braid is the beginning chain. Skip it. Insert into the large horizontal braid next to it. Work 1 slip stitch. You can also count the stitches from back to front here. To find the position of the first stitch, insert into, yarn over and draw through. Draw through all loops on the hook at once. Complete the slip stitch. This is the braid formed by the slip stitch. This slip stitch doesn't count as 1 stitch. Tighten it to prevent adding extra stitches later. This completes the first round. Next, you'll need to change colors. Fasten off the yarn. Crochet round 2 next. Pick up the corresponding color, make a slip knot. Then join the yarn. Pay attention to keep the right side facing you. Which is the side with the neat texture? Hook into the same spot where the slip stitch was made and join the yarn. Make sure the join doesn't show on the right side. Then work 4 chains. Next, pick the same spot and work 1 treble crochet. Yarn over the hook twice. 1, 2. Insert. At this point, you can crochet and weave in the 2 short yarn tails into the fabric. Then yarn over and draw through. There are 4 loops on the hook now. Yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops. Repeat 3 times. Once. twice, 3 times. Complete 1 treble crochet stitch. Then continue crocheting 4 chains. Then return to the same position below. Work 1 slip stitch. Unless otherwise specified here, the slip stitch doesn't need to be pulled tight. I have the centered treble crochet stitch, the 4 chains on both sides, and the 1 slip stitch below. Consider it as a small petal. Continue downward. Pick up the stitch to the left. Work 1 slip stitch for transition. Then crochet 1 small petal. First, make 4 chains. Work 1 treble crochet in the same position. First, yarn over twice. Insert. Yarn over and draw through. Then yarn over and pass through the first 2 loops sequentially. Repeat 3 times. Complete the treble crochet. Continue with 4 chains. Then pick the same position and work 1 slip stitch. Complete a small petal. Next, pick the adjacent stitch on the left side, and work 1 slip stitch for transition. Then correspondingly make 1 small petal. Move backward and pick the single crochet positions. Work small petals 1 by 1 corresponding between the small petals. Work 1 slip stitch for transition. Continue crocheting using this method. Complete the last small petal. At the insertion position of the first petal, work 1 slip stitch for transition. Finally, cut the yarn. Weave the yarn tail into the wrong side of the fabric. You can weave it in for a few more stitches. This completes round 2. Next, crochet round 3. Pick up the corresponding color. Find the treble crochet position of any small petal. Hook into its stitch to join the yarn. Then make 1 chain as the beginning chain. Work 1 single crochet correspondingly. Then work 3 chains as a bridge. Move down and hook into the treble crochet position of the adjacent small petal. Work 1 single crochet. When crocheting on the small petals, always hook into the treble crochet stitches. 3 chains in between. Next, pick the treble crochet position of the next small petal. Work 1 DC2 bobble stitch. From now on, I'll simply call it the bobble stitch. First, yarn over. Insert. Yarn over and draw through. Then yarn over and draw through the first 2 loops. There are 2 loops left. This is an unclosed double crochet. Work another unclosed double crochet in the same position. Yarn over. Insert. Yarn over and draw through. Then yarn over and draw through the first 2 loops. Now there are 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over. Draw through all in once. 1 bobble stitch is done. Next, work 2 chains in between. Work 1 bobble stitch in the same position. First, work 2 unclosed double crochets. 1. 2. Then yarn over. Draw through all 3 loops on the hook in once. Complete the bobble stitch. Next, work 2 chains in between. Work another bobble stitch here. I consider the 3 bobble stitches and the chains in between as 1 corner. Work 3 chains in between. Next, pick up the positions of the adjacent 2 small petals treble crochets. Work 1 single crochet in each, with 3 chains in between. After completing, continue with 3 chains in between. I consider this as one side. Work a corner going downward. Pick up the position of the next small petals treble crochet. Work 3 bobble stitches, with 2 chains in between each bobble stitch. After completing, work the next side, using the same method as before. I won't go into details. Continue working the following sides and corners using the same method. After finishing the last corner, work 3 chains, which completes one side with the starting position. Finally, join with a slip stitch in the starting single crochet stitch. Pull tight. No need to cut the yarn. This completes the third round. Next, work the fourth round. First, pick up the large chain space to the right. Work a slip stitch to carry the yarn along. Insert. Yarn over, draw through. And draw through all loops on the hook in once. Continue working downward. Start with a chain to begin. Work 1 single crochet correspondingly. Then work 5 chains. Skip the adjacent chain space. Pick up the next space and work 1 single crochet. Make 5 chains as a bridge. Now you've reached the corner position of the previous round. Pick up the chain spaces and work single crochets respectively. 5 chains between each 2 single crochets. I consider this spot as a corner for this round. Continue down to the edge position of the previous round. There are 3 chain spaces. Pick up the first and third spaces to work single crochets. Make 5 chains on both sides and between the single crochets. I consider this spot as an edge for this round. Continue crocheting following the edge and corner method. Finish the last corner. Then continue with 5 chains. Complete the starting edge. Finally, join with a slip stitch to the starting single crochet. Pull tight. Then break the yarn. Weave in the beginning and ending yarn tails to the wrong side of the fabric. The method is simple, so I won't demonstrate it. This completes the first full small flower motif. Continue crocheting the remaining motifs while joining them. First, join the second small flower motif. Work the first 3 rounds using the same method. Don't break the yarn after completing. The method is simple. I won't repeat the demonstration here. My sample is already completed. The colors of the sample are random. Continue crocheting the 4th round. First, follow the method of the first small flower motif. Crochet up to before the corner position. After completing, continue to join the corner. First, pick up the next chain space, and work 1 single crochet. Then work 2 chains. At this point, pick up the first motif. Align it with the second motif with wrong sides together. Then find any corner space. Work one single crochet. Simply work into the large space here. This completes the joining. Continue with 2 chains. Return to the second motif. Pick up the next space and work one single crochet. This completes the corner joining. Now join the sides. The method is similar to joining the corners. Replace the center chain of the 5 chains with a single crochet to joining. First work 2 chains. Then pick up the corresponding chain space next to the first small motif. Work one single crochet to join. Then work 2 chains. Return to the second motif. Pick up the adjacent chain space and work one single crochet. This completes another space joining. Continue to join the next space. First work 2 chains. Pick up the chain space next to the first small motif and work a single crochet to join. Then work 2 chains. Return to the second small motif. Skip the adjacent chain space. Work one single crochet in the next space. Continue joining one more space downward. First work 2 chains. Pick up the corresponding position on the first small motif and work a single crochet to join. Then work 2 chains. At this point, the edge position joining is completed. Connect to the next corner downward. First, pick up the adjacent chain space and work one single crochet. Then work 2 chains. Work a single crochet to join with the next corner position of the first small motif. Then work 2 chains. Return to the second small motif. Pick up the adjacent chain space and work one single crochet. Complete the corner joining. No joining needed at the back. Follow the method of the first small motif. Finish the remaining edges and corners. Complete the last corner. Continue with 5 chains. Complete the starting side. Then join with a slip stitch in the starting single crochet. Pull tight. Cut the yarn. Weave in the yarn tail into the fabric. That completes the second small motif. And it joins 2 corners and one side with the first small motif. Continue crocheting the third small motif. And join it with the second small motif. Also join 2 corners and one side. The joining method is the same. For the third small motif, crochet up to the position before the first corner of the 4th round. when reaching the corresponding position. Then join one corner. Pay attention to join on the side. That is symmetrical to the side joined with the second small motif. With the wrong sides of the motifs facing each other. Proceed with the joining. After completing, join one side downward. Then join one corner. The remaining parts can be crocheted following the previous method. Finally, slip stitch into the starting single crochet. Pull tight. Cut the yarn. And weave in the yarn tail inside the fabric. This completes the third small motif. And the joining is also completed. Continue using the same joining method as the first two motifs. Crochet and join as you go. Complete the required number of motifs and join them accordingly. The method is simple, so I won't demonstrate further. That concludes the explanation for section 2. Now proceed to crochet section 3. You'll need to join section 1 and section 2 together. Here I'll use this sample to demonstrate the method. Take the right side of section 1. The side where the starting chain yarn tail is on the left. And the double crochet texture on the last row looks neat. Then pick up the corresponding color. The actual yarn color used for the last part of section 1. Here I'll demonstrate with a different color. Attach the yarn to the single crochet on the edge. Then chain 3 as the beginning chain, followed by 2 more chains. Slightly enlarge the loop. Then remove the hook. Now pick up section 2. Place the motif horizontally. Make sure the right side is facing up. Hook into the chain space at the bottom right corner of this motif on the edge. Insert from the front side. Pull through the loop that was left. Then chain 1. This completes one joining. Continue down by chaining 1 more. Then pick up the middle position of group 1 centered 2 double crochets. Make 1 single crochet. Then continue with 4 chains. On the third stitch, a joining is needed, so first chain 2. Stretch the loop. Remove the hook. Then insert from the front side of the upper motif into the adjacent space. Pull through the loop that was left. Chain 1. This completes the joining. Continue with 1 chain. At this point, a total of 4 chains are completed. Move down back to section 1. Pick up the single crochet next to the motif. Work 1 double crochet. Then continue with 4 chains. And join on the 3rd stitch. The method is the same as before, so I won't go into details. After completing, return to section 1. Move down and pick the middle of the 2 centered stitches of the motif. Work 1 single crochet. Then crochet 4 chains and join. After completing, pick the single crochet in section 1. Work 1 double crochet. Then crochet 4 chains and join. Here we meet the corner joining position of 2 motifs. Need to crochet a slip stitch to secure. First crochet 2 chains. Then pick up the chain spaces of the 2 corners. Work 1 slip stitch. Then continue crocheting 2 chains. Complete the joining. When crocheting the slip stitch, don't make it too tight. Keep the fabric flat. From now on, always pick the 2 centered stitches of the motif to work single crochets. Work double crochets at the single crochet positions. Between the double crochet and single crochet, crochet 4 chains. When joining with the edge, the 3rd stitch of the 4 chains needs to join with the chain space. When joining at the corner, you also need to work 1 slip stitch to secure. When joining with the edge, 1 joining corresponds to 1 space. When joining at the corner, 1 joining corresponds to 2 corner spaces. Continue joining downward using this method. Keep joining until the corner position between the 4th and 5th motifs counted from right to left. After joining the corner position, continue downward, joining with the edge of the adjacent motif. That is the position of the 5th motif. moving downward to the corner position. Here, one joining corresponds to one space, just like joining at the edge. And no need to work a slip stitch to secure. After completing, continue joining using the method of one joining per space. Connect until reaching the corner position between the 6th and 7th motifs. After completing, let's take a look. Here, during the first 4 joinings at the corner positions between motifs, one joining corresponds to 2 corner spaces, and a slip stitch is needed to secure. For the last 2 joinings at the corner positions between motifs, one joining corresponds to 1 corner space. At the edge positions, one joining always matches 1 space. Here I treat the join sections as a group of joining pattern. Moving downward, everyone follow this pattern. Continue joining the edges and corners of the motifs. Let me emphasize again. In one group of joining pattern, there are 4 joinings made at the corner positions. One joining corresponds to 2 spaces at the corner, and a slip stitch is needed to secure. The remaining 2 joinings, one joining corresponds to 1 space. You can also refer to the chart for the exact pattern. After that, follow the pattern and join 3 more groups. When done, join the last group following the diagram. The first 4 corner positions are still one joining for 2 spaces. And for the last corner position, one joining corresponds to 1 space. Then keep joining until reaching the edge. At the edge, join to the space at the bottom left corner of the motif. Then return to section 1, work 1 double crochet where picking up a single crochet. Finally, cut the yarn. You can leave the yarn tail as it is for now. That concludes the explanation for section 3. Next, we'll crochet section 4. Crochet back and forth along the other side of section 2. The new stitch techniques used are DC2 tog and CH3 picket. Please watch my demonstration. I'll continue using this sample for demonstration. First, pick up the corresponding color yarn with the wrong side of section 2 motif facing you. The motif remains placed horizontally. Locate this motif at the right edge. Hook into the chain space at the top right corner to join the yarn. Then make 1 chain to start. Work 1 single crochet correspondingly. Crochet work 4 chains to space downward. Then pick up chain spaces one by one and work single crochets accordingly. Work 4 chains to space between single crochets. When reaching the corner position to join, simply pick up the large space and work single crochets. Complete the corner space position at the far left of the motif edge. The first row is now done. Here, one edge remains unworked at both ends of the motif. Begin working the second row downward. Start with 3 chains. Turn. Then skip the chain space to the left. Work 1 double crochet into the adjacent single crochet position. Then work 4 chains to space. Work 1 double crochet into the same position. Four chain to space. Then pick up the same position and the next single crochet position. Work a DC2 tog. First, pick up the position underneath. Work an unclosed double crochet. Then pick up the single crochet position on the left side. Work another unclosed double crochet. Finally, yarn over, and draw through all 3 loops on your hook. Complete the DC2 tog. Then work 4 chain to space. Pick up the insertion position of the second stitch of the decrease below, and the next single crochet position. Work a DC2 tog. First, work unclosed double crochets separately. Then yarn over and draw through all loops. Complete the DC2 tog. Work 4 chains to space ahead. Continue picking up the insertion position of the second stitch of this decrease below. That is, the end of the decrease. Work a DC2 tog at the next single crochet position. Work 4 chains to space. Work another double crochet at the same position, the end of the decrease. Work 4 chains to space. Pick up the same position and the next single crochet position below. Work a DC2 tog. Work 4 chains to space. You can see the individual double crochet here is 3dc2 tog away from the first individual double crochet. Also, these decreases are joined end to end. Below, I will consider the 3dc2 tog worked consecutively, along with the chain spaces in between, as one decrease group. Below, I will work in the pattern of one decrease group, followed by one individual double crochet. The double crochets are worked into the insertion point at the end of the group. At the same time, the next group starts at the position of a double crochet. Each double crochet and pattern are separated by 4 chains on both sides. Continue crocheting following this method. Let me demonstrate the pattern again. At this point, the first DC2 tog in the group is already completed. Continue working the group. This completes one decrease group. Then make 4 chains as space. Work one individual double crochet. 4 chains as space. Continue crocheting the pattern and individual double crochets downward. Finish the last decrease group. Continue with 4 chains and 1 double crochet. After completing, work 4 chains. There's only one single crochet left at the bottom. Pick up the insertion point of the double crochet and the last single crochet. Work 1 DC2 tog. This completes the second row. Next, crochet the third row. Start with 3 chains as turning chain. Turn. Then pick up the left side double crochet position and work 1 double crochet. Next, 4 chains as space. Then pick the same stitch of the double crochet and the next decrease stitch. Work 1 DC2 tog. After completing, 4 chains as space. Downward, pick the double crochet and DC2 tog stitches respectively. Work DC2 tog correspondingly into each stitch. The beginning and ending of the decrease are joining, with 4 chains as space in between. Follow this method to complete the remaining part. The second stitch of the last decrease in this round is inserted into the double crochet stitch. Continue by working 1 double crochet in the same place afterward. Skip the beginning chain. This completes the 3rd row. Next, work on the 4th row, same as the previous row. Start with 3 chains as turning chain. Turn. Pick up the stitch of the decrease on the side and work 1 double crochet. Four chains in between afterward. Then pick up the stitch of the decrease. Work DC2 tog correspondingly. 4 chains in between. Connect the beginning and ending of the decrease same as before. The last stitch of the final decrease is worked into the double crochet stitch. Complete the final decrease. On the last double crochet stitch, continue with 1 double crochet. Skip the starting chain as before. This completes row 4. Afterward, continue crocheting using the same method as the first 2 rows. The technique is simple, so I won't demonstrate it. Everyone can refer to the chart and complete the second to last row. Once done, work the final row. Here I'll use this sample to show the method. Continuing from the previous yarn tail, make 1 chain to start. Turn. Then pick up the stitch position of the decrease towards the left. Work 1 single crochet. In the corresponding chain space, make 2 single crochets. Then make a CH3 picket. From now on I'll call it a picket for short. First, work 3 chains. Then pick up the front loop of the single crochet stitch underneath, meaning the strand right here, and the strand on the left side. Work 1 slip stitch. This completes the picket. Continue picking up the chain space, and work 2 single crochets. I consider the stitches worked in the chain space as 1 picket group. Moving to the decrease position, pick up the stitch and work 1 single crochet. In the chain space, work a picket group. First, work 2 single crochets. Then make 1 picket. Start with 3 chains. Then pick up the front strand of the corresponding single crochet stitch, and the strand on the left side. Work 1 slip stitch. The picket is completed. Continue working 2 single crochets in the same space. At this point, the picket group is completed. At the decrease position, work a single crochet accordingly. From now on, work the picket group in the chain space. Work 1 single crochet at the decrease position. Finish the remaining part. Complete the picket group in the last chain space. Move down and work 1 single crochet in the double crochet stitch. Skip the turning chain position. Finally, cut the yarn. Leave the yarn tail for now. That concludes the method for the last row. This also finishes the explanation for section 4. Up to this point, the explanation for the main body is now complete. Next, we will crochet the edging along the beginning and ending sides of each section on the main body and the foundation chain position. Work back and forth. Remember to leave buttonholes while crocheting. No new stitch techniques are used. Watch me demonstrate. Let's start with the first row. I'll continue using the sample for demonstration. Pick up the yarn in the corresponding color. Place the yarn tail from section 4 on the right hand side. Then pick the single crochet stitch on the edge to join the yarn. Make 1 chain to start. Work 1 single crochet into the corresponding stitch. From here onward, when you encounter yarn tails on the edge, you can weave in them as you crochet. Pick the next row's edge below the current one. This is a turning chain. Pick up the entire stitch. Work 3 single crochets correspondingly. The next row's edge consists of double crochets. Similarly, work 3 single crochets correspondingly. Moving down to the section 4 below, pick 1 stitch from the edge of each row. For each row, work 3 single crochets correspondingly. When you reach a single crochet position, pick up the single crochet or 1-2 strands from the edge. Work 1 single crochet correspondingly. Moving down to the position of the small motif. First, pick the chain space on the left side, and work 2 single crochets. Pick the bottom of the single crochet at the single crochet position, which means picking up the single crochet. Work 1 single crochet. For the chain space at the back, work 2 single crochets in one space. At the single crochet position, pick the bottom and work 1 single crochet. Continue crocheting following this method. When you reach a joining position, pick the chain space and work 1 single crochet. Moving down to the edges of section 3 and section 1. Except for the continuous 3 rows, all other edges consist of double crochets. Or at the position of a double crochet and beginning chain, follow the method of working 3 single crochets in one row. For the edges of the other rows, both the double crochet and the turning chain row are worked as 2 single crochets per row. When the edge is a single crochet, one row corresponds to 1 single crochet. Follow this method to finish this side. You can also refer to the chart for details. After finishing the first row of the edge, check if the crocheted part lies flat. If it's not flat, adjust the number of stitches as needed, as long as the fabric remains flat. Next, pick up stitches from the foundation chain to work. First, pick up into the adjacent chain space. Work 2 single crochets. When reaching the single crochet position on this side, pick up underneath the single crochet. This is also equivalent to picking up a single crochet. Work 1 single crochet. Correspondingly, make 2 single crochets into the chain space. Continue crocheting in the same way. Finish the last space. The picking up method for the next side is the same as the other side. I won't repeat the explanation here. You can also refer to the chart for details. If you adjusted the stitch count earlier, remember to adjust the stitch count on this side accordingly. Finish the last row of the edge. The first round of edging is now complete. Work the second round downward. Make 1 chain to start. Turn over. Then pick up the stitches from the previous row, and work single crochets into each stitch accordingly. Finish this round completely. Complete the last stitch. The second round is now done. Next, crochet the third round. This round requires buttonholes. There are a total of 5 buttonholes on the front band. You can first refer to the chart to mark the buttonhole positions. I've already marked mine on the sample. The sample has fewer stitches. Let me explain the method. First, refer to the chart. Count the stitches upward to the second row. Then at the 2 stitches where the buttonhole corresponds, run a thread through and tie a knot to mark it. If your stitch count doesn't match the chart, you can adjust accordingly. Just make sure the topmost buttonhole is at the corner position. Then evenly space out 4 buttonholes in the lower area. The marking method for buttonholes is the same. Once the positions are marked, start crocheting. Continue with the existing yarn. Make a chain 1 as beginning chain. Turn. Then pick up stitches, and work single crochets correspondingly. Keep crocheting until right before the marked buttonhole position. When you reach the corresponding position, work down 3 chains. Skip 2 stitches below. The marker can be removed. Slip 1 stitch and work a single crochet into that position. Continue working single crochets correspondingly in the following stitches. For the following buttonhole positions, crochet using the same method. After finishing the area for the buttonhole, work single crochets evenly into the remaining stitches. Finish the last stitch. Row 3 is completed. Continue to crochet row 4, make 1 chain to begin, turn over. Then work single crochets correspondingly. When reaching a chain space, hook into the space and work 2 single crochets. For the following single crochet positions, work single crochets correspondingly. For each chain space, work 2 single crochets into the space. Continue crocheting the remaining part using the same method. After completing the last stitch, row 4 is completed. For row 5 and onward, alternate between crocheting several single crochets and 1 picot. The picot method is the same as the last row of section 4. The method is simple. I won't demonstrate it this time. After finishing the crocheting, break the yarn, weave in all yarn tails inside the fabric. At this point, the edging part is explained. Finally, attach the buttons. Start by attaching buttons on the opposite side of the buttonholes on the front band. I'll use a sample to demonstrate the method. First, find the corresponding position. Place the side with the buttonholes on top of the other side. Then locate the matching position roughly. Use the same color yarn as the edging for sewing. I'm using a different color for demonstration. There's no specific method required, just make sure it's secure. Thread the needle. Start by inserting the needle from back to front. Leave a little yarn tail. Sew through a few times for a more secure hold. After finishing, tie off the beginning and ending yarn tails on the wrong side. Excess yarn tails can be woven into the fabric using a crochet hook or yarn needle. The method is simple, so I won't demonstrate it. This way, a button is securely attached. The remaining buttons on the front band can be attached using the same method. I won't repeat the demonstration. After completing, you can try it on. Then find a suitable position underneath the sleeve. Attach a button on the inner side of the fabric. The corresponding space on the other side will be the buttonhole. The installation method is the same. It's quite simple, so I won't demonstrate it. Here, attach one button each on the left and right underneath the sleeve. The positions need to be symmetric. That concludes the explanation of button installation. The finished cape might not lay flat. You can iron it on the wrong side. Up to this point, the entire crochet process of the cape has been fully explained. If you have any unclear parts during the crocheting process, don't hesitate to contact our customer service. Susan's family, supporting your handwork experience, sharing the joy of life. Thank you all for watching. See you in the next episode.